there everybody, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'm going to be back at it again with the 1v1 me for gold room, whatever you want to call it, training room in World of Tanks Blitz. As you can see, I've already found my first partner to fight. It's a Venti player, pretty decent player actually. I took a look at the statistics before I started this one to see what I was up against, and this player's not bad at all. I picked the Super Conqueror. I feel like that's a pretty similar playstyle to the T110E5. I don't want to pick the exact same tank because I feel like that's kind of lame. So, yeah, I guess we're going to see how this works out. One thing I'll say about myself as a player is, I've talked about this in the past before in like live stream, I'm a really good player when it comes to technical knowledge. I know how to outsmart my opponents, kind of like a chess game where you move your pawns up and I'll move, you know, my queen somewhere. However, one of the things I do suffer a little bit on sometimes can be hitting very, very important hatch shots or stuff like that, just due to how the PC doesn't really have auto aim. So that's one thing I always personally struggle with, is the motor skills on PC. Now we're going to aim in a shell at this T110E5, and there you go. Nice tap into his vehicle. We're going to back up. I'm going to make sure I don't get hatched, and that's actually good. That's good. I've been able to put myself in a fairly advantageous position and stop this E5 from doing at least what he wanted to. So, now comes the question, how do we outmaneuver this player? Because he's obviously put his T110E5 into a hull down position over in the caves. Now that's not a bad spot at all. There you go, spotted the E5. Hopefully we're not detected, which we aren't. That's actually really good news, because he probably doesn't know where we're going or how to counter us. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the spotting advantage I have over him and move up to a closer hull down position. That way, if he ends up poking over here, we should be able to get a fairly easy shell into his tank. I guess we'll find out. Come on, you know you want to. I definitely want to stay hull down. That is something that I definitely want to do. Where is he going? I'm so confused. What is he what is he doing? And what I'm trying to do. So I'm heading over towards this side of the map, and there you go, his E5 has been spotted. Unfortunately, the shell really just did not like me in that current position he was in. I fired a premium there as well just to try and make sure it would connect, but looks like we made up for it and we were able to connect our shell. But unfortunately, the E5 with its so accurate gun was able to slam a premium shell right in my hatch. That's really the biggest problem we're going to have here when it comes to a vehicle like the T110E5, is the fantastic gold penetration it carries. If I want to beat the E5, I need to get into a position where I can actually face hug it or use my better DPM on it. I have slightly better DPM, so I want to put myself in a position where I can actually use that damage per minute, and right now it seems like that is definitely not the case we're getting, so I'm going to continue to push over towards this way. He must have gone towards that way, or again, he went towards base C and is going, but he would have been over here if I had spotted him at this point. So the only prediction I have is that he either went wide towards caves, or I'm going to spot him, yeah, right over here. Okay, well, let's get a nice pen into the T110E5. He does get a nice roll into me. However, I'm just going to face hug him, and this is where the Super Conk does have a better type of situation than the E5. You can see here, I'm just going to make sure that I'm face hugging him. His reactive armor is going to fall off in just a moment here. We're going to get another nice pen. I'm going to angle my tank out, and, well, we didn't get a bounce, very unfortunately, but we are still up on hit points, which is quite important. So we're going to get a pen into his turret ring there. We're going to continue trying to block his shell. Unfortunately, once again, we were just not able to do that. So I'm just going to back up. We're going to get another nice pen into his vehicle. And at this point, I just don't see him winning this battle. I'm just going to back up and give myself plenty of room to connect the shell into his lower plate. And there you have it. What an absolutely weird game. The only reason we really won this was because we were able to connect that first shell on him when he was crossing. Apart from that, it would have been a pretty even battle. The Super Conqueror, if you don't know, has one weak spot on the vehicle, and I can probably go back into the replay and show you this weak spot. Or it might just be easier if I showcase the weak spot on Armor Inspector. At this angle, the Super Conk from an E5 is completely red. However, we were in a face hug position. Now I can say for a fact that that player was not firing heat shells because we didn't hear the sizzle that heat shells make. Because of that, we know that there's only one spot that I can viably be penned by a T110 E5 in a face hug, and that is right here, this bar on the upper plate. This may look like a very small spot. However, when you're face hugging a vehicle and you're only, a foot away from it and you're aiming right on that spot, it is very easy to connect shells there. And because of that, the C5 basically just shot my upper plate as many times as he wanted. Even when I was trying to angle it here, you can still see that the E5, when using his 8 degrees, is quite easily going to penetrate the corner of this. So that was the real problem I had when face hugging him, and specifically, I was firing premium to make sure I was connecting my pens into him, and he had reactive armor on, which, yeah, definitely hurt my DPM, actually making him have more than me, but because we got that first initial shot off, we were able to win. So, yeah, honestly, not bad at all. I'm gonna kick you out of the room, and let's see, who do we want to randomly put in? Let's just do the rival player. I mean, it really doesn't matter too much to me. Now, that player's being kind of cringe. He's driving a Type 71. The Type is probably one of the most annoying tanks to 1v1 in the game, down to the very simple fact of the annoying armor profile it has. So, how about we be annoying, and we pick another tank that is, in my opinion, very strong. I'm thinking of doing the Kran, honestly. Kran is not as fast as the Type, and it could be rushed, but we do have more DPM, and we might have enough gun depression to pen his tank. The thing I'm worried about when it comes to that vehicle is if just we bounce a shell or two. The Kran really doesn't have good DPM. I could do the IS-4, but I don't want to be stuck in a situation face-hugging a player. So yeah, I'm honestly going to do the Kran. I think that the Kran is this is the worst map I could have gotten. Oh man, this is no joke, the worst map I could have gotten. There's no hull down against a Type 71 here. Basically, this is what I'm predicting is going to happen, is I'm going to get rushed, and that's it. Because the Kran is not a tank that deals with being rushed. It's a tank that likes causing its opponents to struggle to push on it by using its gun depression. So, the problem is, I need to basically not be rushed, which is a very, very tricky predicament here. So right now, I'm just making sure I can load in all 3 shells. I'm pushing my tank towards this side of the map. That way I can load all 3, because I'm predicting that Type's going to come over towards that side of the map. I wouldn't expect the Type to go here. So that would be my prediction. Because of that, I'm thinking that if we can take advantage of this, and here we are, perfect. Okay, so let's see, is the Type going to be spotted somewhere over here? Not really sure. Now, when it comes to the Kran's gun, the reason I picked this tank as a good counter to at least have an engaging battle against the Type 71 is down to the very simple fact that this tank carries a lot of pen. In fact, 374 millimeters of heat penetration, enough to butter through a vehicle like the Type. I'm actually thinking that this right here might be a pretty good spot. If he pushes off towards base A, we might have a bit of trouble. You know what? No, I don't like this spot, because if he again pushes down this alleyway here, I'm not going to be able to detect him until it's too late, which it might already be. Interesting. I seriously, is the guy AFK? I mean, oh, there he is. We have finally found him in the Kran, and this is actually a really good spot for me to detect his vehicle, because obviously in the Kran I want to have distance on my opponents, and that is what we have here. We have distance on our opponents. There you go, nice heat shell right into his hatch, and with that we have already given ourselves an advantage over this Type 71. As well, I can sit here and capture the base. We just need to reload in 2 more seconds, and there you have it. We have another shell in our barrel, making sure that our vehicle is hulled down. And it looks to me like he's probably not going to poke us anymore. So if I were him, he's probably backing up this way, which he did. And there you go, another nice shell into his tank. He did pen us once, but we are an auto reloader. That was a bad shot for me, if I'm going to be completely honest. Let's just pull forwards, and I mean, he might rush us, but there's not much I have to worry about, honestly, at this point. We still have penned him twice. We've got more hit points. His tank is fast. I'll give him that, but I don't think it's going to be fast enough to catch us before we can load in all of our shells, as we're going pretty quick here as well. So we need 2 more seconds. Here we go. Unfortunate that I personally messed up that one heat shell. That's on me. I should have aimed that a bit better. There you go. Nice shell into the Type once again. And now we reload. Now we've brought him down to 1,332 health. As you can see, I've just been outsmarting him at this point. I've been making sure that he's really not in the engagement to ever push us. The Kron does very well when it has all of its shells loaded, because it's obviously an auto-reloader. So if I can use the advantage of being an auto-reloader against him, that'll be very, very good. So what I'm going to do at this point in time is just push over this way. We're going to see if I can somewhat get behind him. That would be my guess, as he's going over here. And this is perfect. So at this point in time, the type is really not in an engagement he probably wants to be. There's one shell into his vehicle. And if he pokes us side on, I'm going to pen another. All we need to do is load in the shell. We have 5 more seconds left. Here we go. And perfect. Okay, there you go, ladies and gents. We have loaded our shells. There's another shell into the type. And there you go, another shell into the type. And I'm going to pretend like I don't have a shot when I actually do. Back up and finish him off with the 3rd shell. That right there is a perfect example of how to counter the Type 71. Sure, the vehicle might have some of the most ridiculous armor in the game, and I might have been using one of the worst DPM tanks, period, out there. But the Kron has one big advantage, and that is knowledge. Knowledge is key with the Kron. If you understand how to use the speed boost to get your tank out of position when a vehicle like the Type is faster, and just have enough time to reload your shells, even though I made that slight mistake on penetration there, we were still able to come out with a victory. So, I saw this person join the room quite early. They're in a T100 LT. That is honestly the cringiest 1v1 vehicle, down to the fact that it has, as we know, a quite ridiculous spotting range. I could use a medium. I'm trying to think, what mediums do we have at my arsenal? 30B, 121B. I'm obviously not going to do a vehicle like the TVP. That would be an awful choice. I want to do the Bat Chat, honestly. I want to try the Bat Chat out. So here we are. This is going to be our last battle. So, we'll see. Now, when it comes to if somebody does end up beating me, I'm thinking of making this like a weekly thing, so if you're on the NA server and you want me to do this weekly, let me know. But I'm definitely thinking of making this a weekly thing. Basically, if I lose, I'll give the person $5 worth of gold. 2 players we fought so far. The first game was just cringe. I don't know what to say about that battle. That was just an E5 circling around the map while I was trying to spot him. Second game was a lot more fun. That rival player was actually enjoyable to fight. I will give him credit. He put up a decent... Well, the problem was he didn't position the type the smartest of ways, and I was able to outsmart that with the Kron's specific type of playstyle. The Kron is a great tank as long as you understand the playstyle it carries. It's not a great tank if you think, oh, I can win because I have, you know, an auto-reloading gun. So we get the first shell into the T100 LT. That's good news. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive away. I'm going to make sure that he can't hit me. We're going to go like this, keep on going, keep on going. We've reloaded our clip, and we also have shell reload boost available on this tank, which is something that's really, really nice about the Boss Chatillon. It means that you have the just amazing ability to get out a full clip very, very fast in this tank. So what we're going to do is we're going to position our vehicle like this, and I'm kind of hoping that we can spot that T100 maybe crossing over here. That would be my my best idea. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, we got spotted. Interesting. So there's the T100, and I was hoping that would hit. So even though I would say I didn't actually do a bad job on my idea there, it looks like we got spotted and we didn't know we got spotted. That's a bit weird. I guess, no, I guess we just poked a part of our tank out that I didn't think we had. Oh well, it's fine. We were behind cover as it was when he tried shooting at us, so we didn't get penetrated or anything like that. So in this type of battle, I need to figure out the best way to get at least one more shell into this T100. That's what I'm hoping to do. Because I want to make sure that when I push this guy, I don't bounce or anything like that. He might have been sitting in that bush over there. I wonder if I can climb up this hill. Ugh! That would have been really good if I could climb up that hill and possibly use that bush there. I'm not sure if you can. I know that you can climb up certain spots on these hills here, but yeah, that's always down to more specifics. But this is going to be a more challenging 1v1. When it comes to heavies, it's more a slow-paced battle of figuring out your footing. When it comes to mediums, it can be a very, very fast-paced game. But I might just wait here. I mean, obviously the only problem I would have is if the T100 went over here. So basically what I'm thinking of doing is I'll just aim this way, and if I spot the T100 over here, then I'll know. And then if he pokes this corner, we should hopefully be able to get a shell out. So, yeah, I mean, the only way we wouldn't spot him is if he's over here. But I'm not sure if he outspots us after they buff the Bat Chat's view range. So, yeah, we're just going to wait here, and we will see. There he is. We finally spotted the T-100. Took a little bit of time, but we did spot him, which is good news for us. So we're going to go for one more shell into his vehicle, a nice tracking shot as well. He misses us, and at this point, all we need to do is stay in cover for about 5 more seconds left. It seems like, though, that position did its job. We were able to do basically everything we needed to. And now you'll notice I saved my shell reload boost so that way we can hopefully be able to reload fast enough. But at this point, it doesn't matter. He's put himself in a really bad spot, and all we need to do is simply, boop, there you go. So, 3 for 3 today, ladies and gentlemen. Not bad at all. So, yeah, this was fun. About 20 minutes of total recording, and, yeah, not bad, not bad. T100LT has very similar DPM to the Batchat. It has a little bit more, but the Batchat obviously is an autoloader. So if you understand how to use autoloaders correctly, you can do really well with it because you can store that DPM and take advantage. Now, in that player's instance, we were able to get the first shell out for free by spotting. That player just wasn't fast enough to cross because I'm also in a very fast light. And we were also able to shoot him once again for just waiting. That position I waited in is a really smart spot because obviously I know from the bushes that are covering about 80% of my vehicle's view range on the one side, if he drives anywhere in that area, I'll spot him. I don't need to worry about being shot because I'll outspot because I'm in a bush covering me. On the other side, I know that that's the only spot I have to be looking at because if he pokes, then I can get the shell in. So that's basically what I did was I waited. Eventually, he got spotted on the other side, turned my tank, got the first initial shot in, got the second shot in, and even the third shot, and at that point, it was over. Even if he tried to 1v1 me and just brawl me with his DPM and the LT, it wouldn't have been a win for him because there's no way he would have killed me in the 14 seconds that I reload my whole clip. Hopefully, you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you'd like to see more like it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!